Hey,
Hey, we're live.
we're live?
Day 5. We are live for day 5 of NFL free agency. Harrison Graham, Chase Sr. And Chase, we said, you know what? It's day 5. We're going to do it big.
Yep.
We're live on 3 of our channels
Yes,
right
sir.
now. We're live on Chat Sports. We're live on Chicago Bears Now because the Larry Ogunjobi contract just fell through. And Chase said, hey, the Niners haven't done much this week, so I want to go live for the faithful and have that audience join us as well. We're back. We're better than ever. Lots of stuff to get into today.
It's day 5 of NFL free agency. Monday, we were live for like 8 hours on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. The following day on Tuesday, 6 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours, back-to-back days, and we decided to go live even earlier today. So much happening, and even with the San Francisco 49ers, they've been somewhat silent in NFL free agency up to this point, but they made a signing that I really liked last night. Ray McCloud, leading punt returner in the National Football League last year. Nice little gadget weapon for Kyle Shanahan in that offense. We're going to break that down as well.
Yeah, so we'll get to all that. And, of course, Deshaun Watson trade watch. That continues to be the top story in free agency. Let us know in the chat, what is your favorite signing so far? Bears fans, Byron Pringle after you lose Larry Ogunjobi. Niners fans, probably Charvarius Ward. Also for all of our NFL fans who are watching live here on YouTube on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel, let us know what your favorite signing has been so far on that front as well. And yes, if we get super chats on all 3 of our channels, we will hit those because
Yes, sir.
producer Jack is built different and he will get them all on screen because he is a god. He says don't make promises, but I believe in you, Jack, so I am going to make promises. All right, let's see what people are saying here. Randy Gregory from Matthew. It's an interesting favorite signing. DeMarcus Lawrence, Mitch Trubisky, Allen Robinson, Devontae Adams. Those are some of the people on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. Devontae Baby on Bears Now. Chase, Bears fans are just happy Devontae Adams is the hell out of the NFC North.
Hey, he's been wreaking havoc in that division for a really long time. One of the best wide receivers in the National Football League. I think you can make the argument that Devontae Adams is weapon number 1. And what does this mean for Aaron Rodgers? I can't imagine that he re-signed with the Green Bay Packers knowing that Adams was going to get traded. But in terms of talking points and in terms of storylines, Devontae Adams teaming back up with Derek Carr, Fresno State legends now in the desert with the Raiders. It's Liddy, and this NFL offseason has been wild. Want to give some shout-outs to those who are watching on the 49ers Report. It's been a little while since we went live because we've been pushing out so many videos breaking down all of the latest news and rumors, but shout-outs to the homies. New Money Beats, David Delgado, Matt Solomon, what it do, brother? Were you live with Mitchell Renz last night on the Raiders Report? I can only imagine. Historic night. Doug Carroll, JackTube JJJ, CLK Flow, Jose Santa Cruz, New Money Beats, ATG, and let's see, who else is coming in?
Very slight.
Eric Sully as well. Chase, a real one. You're a real one, my guy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Sorry, having Jack direct some traffic here. Yeah, Bears fans, curious to see how they feel about this Larry Ogunjobi deal falling through. We'll break that down in further detail. Who's been the biggest winner in free agency, player or team? Let us know in the comments. The Raiders are in the conversation now, Chase, after
Yes, they
getting
are.
Devontae Adams. Now, I would still argue they have the 4th best quarterback in that division in Derek Carr, but when you get him his boy from college, he's got Darren Waller, you got Hunter Renfrow, they could be a team. I think the Chargers are a team for sure. The Broncos obviously traded for Russell Wilson if you want to factor that in. A lot of teams have been very aggressive throughout free agency.
Yeah, and you take a look at what the Raiders have done really the last couple of days. Up until that point, they were somewhat silent, but they've been silent assassins the last 2 days. Chandler Jones, Rock Ya-Sin, Brandon Bolden, Jacob Johnson, Alex Bars, Matt Collins, and then the big splash, Davante Adams. They immediately become a winner in NFL free agency. Then you take a look at some other teams. Miami Dolphins come to mind. The Los Angeles Chargers. I actually think what the 49ers have done is fiscally smart. They've focused in on areas of need, younger players who are merging, who have potential, and some of those contracts are very team-friendly with a lot of potential upside on the football field as well.
I also like what the Bears have done in the sense, Chase, that sure, this Larry Ogunjobi deal is a setback, but that money's going to free up, so now you got more money there. 3 years, $40.5 million was no cheap deal. Byron Pringle, smart, cheap signing. I think he's ready for a bigger role. We'll see what Equanimeous St. Brown brings to the table as a depth receiver.
For sure.
I like the Lucas Patrick signing. I think he'll start either at center or guard on this offensive line. So I think both of the teams that we cover primarily have been doing okay, although they've been fairly quiet. We'll see where the Bears pivot from here. Super chat from Daryl Anderson. Is this from our main channel here? This is from our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. Talk Raiders, baby, or QB rumors. Well, the Raiders are going to keep Derek Carr, so there you go on that front. QB rumors, we're on Deshaun Watson watch, and we'll ask you guys here in a minute where you guys think Deshaun Watson's going to end up going, so stay tuned for that. Another super chat from Roy. Stephon Gilmore close? If they get him.
If the Raiders get Stephon Gilmore, my goodness, I think they immediately vault to being the #1 winner in NFL free agency. I'm curious to see how much he gets paid. Charvarius Ward around $14 million. J.C. Jackson, first 2 years, $20 million per year. Carlton Davis, $16.5. So I want to see where he slots in. I think he can still play for sure coming off a Pro Bowl season.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We'll get to that super from Bears now in a moment. Here's our super chat menu. $5 will Bears cheers you. Once we get a $5, I'll have to get a beer from somebody.
Yingling, baby. Let's go.
I forgot to grab one, so that's an L on my part. $10, we'll talk about your favorite team, and this menu applies to our team channels as well. We'll kind of find a way to, make $10 be relevant to Bears Now. Roulette wheel spin, $15. Chase has all the challenges ready to go. $25, we'll take a shot, and for $100, we're chugging 3 beers out of a boot. It's called Das Boot.
Niner gang.
Fill it up with 3 beers.
We got to do some shotguns together, man. It's been a little while. Our watch parties, our live shows have been litty. Now that we're live, let's party it up. I don't even care if it's before noon Central Time. Let's ride.
Yeah, I'm ready to take shots, Bears fans. So
I'm ready to crack this beer.
$25. Maybe we go 50% off at some points during the day. It is Friday after all.
Don't hate it.
We could work that in as well. Shout out your favorite team, rep your squad, and Bears fans, Niners fans, just spam the comments, Bears and Niners as well. Show out your squad. Drown out other fans that are watching on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel as we are simulcasting live. By the way, Chase, on our main channel, about 550 people live.
Yes, sir.
Got about 460 on Bears. Where are we sitting on Niners?
Right around 200 people.
We'll get that number.
Getting up early on the West Coast.
Yeah, it's still breakfast time over there, just about. So over 1,000 concurrent between the 3 channels, and that's what we do here at Chat Sports. Bear down from 1. A lot of Bears coming in, obviously, over there. We'll get some shout-outs on our main channel. Texans from Elijah. Cujo says Chargers. Jamal's a Falcons fan. He wants Deshaun Watson, I bet. Patriots from Lucas. Niners all day on our main channel. Head over to 49ers
49ers Report, youtube.com/49ers TV. You know, it's funny. I see Matthew Vega in the chat. He's like, it's almost 10 here, Chase, but we can drink mimosas. Hey, we can drink mimosas. You know what? I'm kind of disappointed in ourselves for not drinking mimosas today.
Just don't tell Coop because
I know he doesn't know what mimosas are.
No, he doesn't know how you can drink them at a tailgate. And I told him, you buy champagne, you buy orange juice, and you pour them in a glass.
How do you drink a keg at a tailgate?
It's really complicated.
You get a keg and you bring it to the tailgate.
It's really,
That's how.
Really complicated.
George Soares, Mike Honcho, I'm ready. Matt Solomon, JackTube, JJJ, I'm ready. Brand new. Matthew Vega. Appreciate all of you for rocking and rolling with us here on the 49ers Report as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Matthew Lane, from our Bears channel. Appreciate the super chat, Matthew. And all super chats get a shout out. And hey, we need to start a little competition between Bears and 49ers and super chats. And we'll have a little back and forth. Matthew, Bears signed Justin Jones from the Chargers. Thoughts? Well, my first thought is my charger for my laptop's in my backpack, and my laptop's about to die. So if someone could get that, Trace, Mitch, somebody, I'm going to need my charger.
I'll send it in Friday.
Justin Jones. Matthew, we're going to break down this Ogunjobi news and the Justin Jones signing here in a few minutes. Stay tuned for that. Everybody watching on YouTube right now, we will have you guys covered. So we will break all of that down. Another super chat from Jeffrey Ray. When and where is Jimmy going? This is for you, Chase.
Look, I think the teams that are in on Jimmy Garoppolo, it includes two right now. It's the Cleveland Browns and it's the Indianapolis Colts. I think one of those two destinations, that's where Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get traded. Now, there are a couple of extenuating circumstances, right? What's up with the shoulder injury? He's not going to be able to throw until about training camp. From the time he got the surgery last week, Ian Rappaport had reported about 4 months, 16 weeks. So a little bit of an issue there. And then the compensation is also something that we have to monitor. The 49ers, according to reports, they want 2 second-round picks. I don't think they can fetch 2 second-round picks. I do think they can get potentially 1 second-round pick. Now, that's been my stance all along. I think that maybe the shoulder injury has impacted things just a little bit, but we'll see. The 49ers, let's see how they play their cards in terms of Garoppolo's trade value and when he gets dealt and where he gets dealt.
Well, this is perfect timing, Chase, because Mitchell Renz, believe it or not, just handed me my laptop charger as I plug it in here. And
here he is.
Yes, he is alive.
The legend.
He is alive.
The legend is here.
He's made it. This man helped us make, $10,000 last night on the Raiders Report.
Devontae Adams.
Daryl, you're the man. He's good enough here on a Friday.
How's Mitch doing? Good.
Yeah, he's very good. There's no doubt about it. Rich King with the super chat. Any Chiefs rumors? Brett Veach going to sign anyone? Listen. How about I could see the Chiefs being in on a Robert Woods trade.
Yeah.
That's the type of move I could see
Interesting.
Brett Veach making to get another receiver in there, because it sounds like he's a prime trade candidate according to Adam Schefter after they signed Allen Robinson.
Okay.
So
coming off the torn ACL, though.
Yeah.
Him and OBJ.
Yeah, or sign OBJ. That's another option. So you could go in one of those two spots. Don Burr, Detroit versus everybody. Can't even sign a guy correctly. Well, Don Burr, you're just one of those pests, aren't you? You're a resident Lions fan here on Bears Now. Listen, they signed the guy. He failed the physical, had the foot injury. It was worse than they thought, clearly. What would be worse, Don Burr, is just giving him that contract even with the failed physical. So, obviously, it's a setback for the Bears, but, these things happen, unfortunately, from time to time.
Popping over on the 49ers report as, man, there's just so much NFL news and rumors going on right now for Day 5 of NFL free agency. I'm seeing Cam 49, Gold Rush 619, Foy Daniels, RJ Dub, Timothy Smith, all in the chat. A lot of you excited about that Ray McLeod signing last night. 2 years in the neighborhood of $10 million. I really like it as well. Myself, Harrison Graham, we're going to break down that Ray McLeod signing after the Larry Ogunjobi news, because that's a monster news item for the Chicago Bears. Failed physical, now not signing with Chicago. So a lot on tap on today's show, and of course, the latest Deshaun Watson news and rumors. And hey, I got an NCAA tournament screen to my left. We'll keep you up to date with everything going down with March Madness. No doubt about that.
You know who can't see that screen? Me.
Yeah,
so
it's a
tough one.
I got you covered, though.
Can we get a Deshaun Watson driver going here? Because I think that's what a lot of the people are tuned in for. We'll get to this super chat, then we'll get to that. Don Burr loves the Bears. Bear down. I do think Don Burr's a closet Bears fan. He's our resident Lions fan on Bears Now, but he tunes in every single week. I tried to tell y'all that one wasn't completely made right, but guess that didn't get finished. Who will trade for Deshaun Watson? I do think we should get that one fixed, though, because that's a good one to go to later. Sounds like it's going to be the Saints or the Falcons, Chase. The Panthers were informed last night that they are out. Cleveland was informed yesterday afternoon that they are out.
Yep.
Who's it going to be? I think it's going to be Atlanta. I think that's where he wants to go.
I think it's going to be Atlanta. If I was him, I'd choose the New Orleans Saints. I think that team is really set up nicely to win on both sides of the ball. especially with Michael Thomas coming back, Alvin Kamara, Marquez Callaway, like that's a really legitimate lineup. Traquan Smith is very good too. They reacquired Mark Ingram. Of course, they're loaded defensively. Now, Dennis Allen being the head coach, has that played a role in Deshaun not wanting to go there, and instead, does he want to go to Atlanta? So he has that relationship with Arthur Blank. He was a ball boy for the Atlanta Falcons while growing up in the Atlanta area. Of course, went to Clemson for college, had a historic career there. Is an MVP type of player when he's on the field. And I think you're right, Harrison. I think he's going to go Atlanta Falcons. I don't necessarily agree with it because I'm not sure how set up they are to win right now, but maybe it seems as though that's the lean.
Maybe he's thinking, okay, this might be a transition year with the dead cap hit Matt Ryan will have.
Yeah.
No Calvin Ridley. But maybe he's thinking this is where I'll be for 10 years. And maybe part of the thing is, well, I might be suspended too for a chunk of this season.
Right.
This year doesn't really matter.
List.
It's more about 2023 and beyond.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of the thought process from Deshaun Watson. And if that is the case, then I could certainly sort of understand that thought process. So where will he go? After this, we'll catch up on a couple Super Chats, and then we're going to break down the Larry Ogunjobi signing.
Yes, sir.
And in between cuts, we'll hit your questions, Super Chats, and then we got a lot of news to get to, so stick with us here. Type NO for the Saints, ATL for the Falcons. I'll get some shout-outs from our main channel, and then, we can get a few shout-outs on our team channels as well, because, Chase, this does impact the Bears and 49ers as this is an NFC team.
Look, yeah, wherever Deshaun Watson goes, you look at the Niners right now, they're coming off that NFC Championship game. They were a couple plays away from making it to their second Super Bowl in 3 years. I understand that there are some reservations about Trey Lance and him starting for San Francisco and him being young. A lot of people believe that the Niners aren't set up to make a deep playoff run again. I think they are, and I actually think the offense has more upside with Trey Lance under center in Kyle Shanahan's offense. He's not going to have to do all that much, and the pressure won't solely be on him because there are such good complementary pieces around Trey Lance, and he has a very good head coach calling the plays in his headset at all times. I'm fascinated to see how Kyle Shanahan develops Trey Lance, but in the way of San Francisco, if they want to make it back to the promised land, you might have to go through Deshaun Watson and the Atlanta Falcons. Or if he goes to the New Orleans Saints, you might have to beat them in the playoffs. That is a reality for both the Bears, the Niners, all teams across the NFL, especially in the NFC. It changes things.
Some rapid-fire shout-outs. Rebel says New Orleans. Nathan says ATL. Did Mitch survive the chip, Rashardly? Yes, he did. He just popped in here,
barely.
Actually. He's alive. He's alive. Nathan, ATL. Maddox, ATL. Jabari, New Orleans. Maddox says ATL. Hugh Green says ATL. Get a couple shout-outs on Bears. Someone says Giants are a sleeper. No, they're not. It's down to the Saints and the Falcons. Matthew says ATL. Caban, ATL. Miles, ATL. Let's see here. New Orleans from Skull Vikings. Couple shout-outs on Niners, or
of course, always. PK from the Bay, my guy. He's saying Trey area, baby. RJ Dub. New Money Beats. What it do, brother? Ronnie Baca, it's viral. RJ. Let's see who else is rocking with the Niner gang. TV Guide, Jenny Silva, Brian Caminati, ATG Rock, Itchy, Gold Rush, George Soares. What it do, faithful? Let's go.
All right, let's rapid fire some Super Chats, and then we're going to get into this Larry Ogunjobi news. Freeman Weeks sends in $2. I appreciate that. James Jameson with the Super Chat coming up here. This one from Bears. What do the Bears do about their secondary free agency or draft? Well, all of a sudden, they just freed up some cash with no Larry Ogunjobi. So I think they've got more money to play with in free agency. We'll see what route they go again. We're going to get into some Bears news coming up. Josh, $5 Super Chat. I need a Coors Light if someone could bring me one. Mitchell Renz is going to help me out there. I appreciate that very, very much. Alan with the $2. Could the Broncos get Honey Badger? I don't know how much money they have to play with, but they could structure it like the Chiefs structured Justin Reed's contract, Chase, where they could just backload it. Justin Reed's cap hit in year one for the Chiefs is less than $5 million. So
yeah,
they could easily go get him if they want to.
Yeah, no, for sure. And look, there are still a lot of dominoes to fall, Harrison, in NFL free agency. And a little bit later on, we're also going to break down the top available free agents at a couple of different positions with a couple of really marquee names. So there are still a lot of moves to be made, and there could be a lot of movement today and in the days after today. So, a lot of stuff could still transpire with a lot of these teams across the league. They're going to be busy.
No doubt about it. Shout out to Rumble. We are also live on Rumble on all 3 of our channels. NFL Daily is where our main Chat Sports YouTube channel is simulcasting on Rumble as well, rumble.com/NFL Daily. More unfiltered access to our latest NFL coverage. If you want more Chicago Bears news and rumors, follow us on Rumble as well. Occasional exclusive content for you guys. Help us grow on our Rumble channel, rumble.com/Bears now, and then also the 49ers Report, Chase.
Also on the 49ers Report, earlier this week I was talking to the Niner gang about Rumble, and we literally had 69 subscribers the other day, and I was like, hey guys, look, while 69 is cool and all, Tom Downey would be proud, we have to pick up more subscribers. And the Niner gang was able to rally, and we got over 100. Let's continue to build upon that number. Exclusive content, news and rumors, and not everybody uses every single social media platform. Not everybody takes in their video content on the same platform. So we're going to the platforms that you as the people use. Rumble.com/49ers TV. Hit that green subscribe button. Therefore, you can continue to stay in the know with all things Niners.
A few more Super Chats. We'll get to those after this Ogunjobi news, so keep sending them in. We'll hit them, I promise. Bears, Niners fans, NFL fans. We'll get to all of those. Don't worry. But first, if you're having a good time, like the video. Chase, I got 65 likes on Bears now.
62.
That's a
Let's have a competition.
Hey, come on.
Let's go.
First to 100. Start. Go. 3, 2, 1. Let's get. I gotta beat the
100.
I gotta beat the Niners Report in likes. I mean,
Yes.
come on.
Because we beat y'all on the field at Soldier earlier this year.
I know. Justin Fields had the highlight of his century,
Yep.
and then the game fell apart after that.
Yes.
All right, Bears hit 100. You there yet?
69.
No.
You hit 100 already? Wow.
Yeah, 125
Good for you.
now.
Niner gang. Come on.
On our main channel, we've got 157. Like the video, regardless of the stream. Our Chat Sports fans are awesome because they're locked in all week long. You guys keep supporting us by tuning in, and some of you go above and beyond by sending in donations. We don't take that lightly either. Like, we understand that that's y'all's hard-earned
For
cash.
real. No
Any donation we get, anything from $1 to $500 on the Raiders Report. We value all of it.
You already know.
It's awesome. We value guys who don't or can't super chat,
Yes, sir.
but that's just bonus. You guys are the best. Like the video. Let's break down this unfortunate Chicago Bears news and what it could mean moving forward. You're watching Bears Now, simulcasting live on YouTube with NFL Daily. Harrison Graham, I got Chase Sr. riding shotgun with me today here on day 5 of NFL free agency. Kind of some unfortunate news to break down after a pretty fun night last night, breaking down the Byron, Pringle, and Equinemius St. Brown signing. Well, the big signing, Chase, it has fallen through. Curious to get some of your thoughts as well as I break this down. The Bears are not signing defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi because of a failed physical. He had that foot injury in the playoffs against the Raiders.
Yep.
I didn't think it was a major deal. I thought it was minor. I think the Bears probably thought that as well. That's why they gave him a nice 3-year, $40.5 million contract. That contract has fallen through due to a failed physical. I want to read this quote from Ryan Poles because he got emotional talking about it today, and then we can kind of chop it up back and forth. This is difficult, and it is emotional for everyone involved, but ultimately it's what is in the best interest of protecting the Chicago Bears. This is one of these tough NFL business things, but you have to respect the GM that understands, hey, I wanted this player. It sucks we have to back out of a contract. This is a first-year GM, though. Your first big move can't be bringing in a guy on a big contract if he may not be healthy enough to contribute at a high level.
You kind of alluded to it, but we're talking about a first-year general manager, 36 years old, in Ryan Poles, and he wants to impress the Bears fan base throughout this free agency period to let them know that the future is bright in Chicago because last couple of years it's been a struggle for Chicago, and there's been a lot of drama, and he's trying to eliminate that. So I'm actually impressed with how he's handling this. I thought you alluded to it. First-year general manager trying to make a splash. He's able to do that with Larry Ogunjobi, who at 27 years old is an emerging player, still young. I like the contract because I thought he was a great interior defensive lineman.
7 sacks last year.
And what does this mean for him? For Ryan Poles to have the temperature of the room and realize, okay, I want to impress Bears fans, but also at the same time, this guy's a great player, but if he's not healthy, that severely impacts us, and we're paying him a lot of money. We have to pivot off of this. What does this mean for Larry Ogunjobi? I'm not sure. Could a deal happen in the future down the road?
Maybe.
I think so, if they maybe tinker with that contract, but he's right. It's unfortunate for all parties.
I mean, look, the initial reaction is this sucks for several reasons, for a lot of the reasons Chase just mentioned. One, this was kind of the Bears' splash in that first wave of free agency. What's something we've talked about a lot here on Bears Now? Ryan Poles made it clear he's going to attack the second and third waves of free agency, which he's kind of started to do. Lucas Patrick, Byron Pringle, Equinemius St. Brown. Get some good value signings to not overpay. This was kind of his big fish and a guy that was going to fill a hole on a critical spot in this Matt Eberflus defense at that 3-technique defensive tackle spot. You're talking about a guy who had 7 sacks last year, 12 tackles for loss. This was going to be an impact guy on your defense. But when you kind of soak it up and get beyond the initial emotional reaction side of it, you say, okay, this general manager is level-headed.
Yeah.
Okay? He could have easily been like, yeah, you know, it'll be fine. By the time training camp gets here, the physical should check out. He didn't operate that way. He said, look, Larry, I'm sorry. We can't do this, man. Maybe we can circle back, but we got to back out of it. And, you know, it sucks. It sucks for Ogunjobi cashing in like that and obviously losing out on that contract. I wish him the best, whether it's with the Bears or someone else. But this is how you got to operate when you're running a business. You can't just, you know, you can't have the honor system always,
For
right?
sure,
Like,
yeah.
part of signing a contract is passing a physical. He didn't pass it. So now the Bears have to shift in a different direction. They've already signed one guy. We'll talk about some other moves they can make as well. What is your one-word reaction to Ogunjobi's deal falling through? I would say unfortunate, and I think that's a pretty good one, but we'll see how the Bears handle this moving forward. I think the initial response has been proper by Ryan Poles. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments section. Like we mentioned, Chase, I mean, this is a guy that really helped spearhead the Bengals to having a top defense last year. I mean, quietly, the Bengals were really good defensively. I know he got hurt early in the playoffs, but throughout the year, they were top 10, top 15. He was a big reason why. He was good with the Browns as well. This is obviously going to hurt for the Bears, but like we've mentioned with the contract, you free up that cap space now, and now the Bears can shift in a different direction. But for him, it's obviously very unfortunate.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, no doubt, as you talk about, but there could be another option out there. Star Lotulelei was just released by the Buffalo Bills. Similar type of player, can play D tackle, has great size, very good strength, but for Ogunjobi, an emerging player. That's why it's unfortunate for Chicago, because I love these types of signings where you're betting on some upside. You put him in this defense, and he makes everybody around him a lot better, the edge rushers as well as the linebackers, because you're able to generate that pass rush, and in turn, that helps out the secondary. But Ogunjobi, 1 sack his rookie year, followed by 5.5, 5.5, 2.5, 7 with the Browns. So you look at that upward trajectory, that's what he was on, and now with this foot injury, you hope for him it doesn't curtail that.
Yeah, now it's about shifting forward for Chicago. I want to explore Lotulelei here in a second. I do want to mention a signing that has taken place, though, which we'll get to in a second, but either way, this is why you subscribe to Chicago Bears Now, because whether it's good news or bad news, I'm not a fraud. I'm going to break it down regardless. You know, a lot of content creators out there, when it's unfortunate news or when their team loses a game, they don't do a post-game show. We don't do any of that stuff, whether it's good or bad. We're live breaking it down. That's what we do. That's our promise to you. We break down every significant story that's out there and hit you guys with the latest Bears news and rumors as well. So subscribe, support the channel. It would really, really help. We're closing in on 45,000 subscribers. Now, a guy has been brought in, Chase. Justin Jones, 2-year contract as he comes over after a stint with the Los Angeles Chargers. I would imagine this is a pretty cheap deal. Maybe he starts as like a stopgap guy. We'll see, because the Bears are thin at defensive tackle. They cut Eddie Goldman. Akeem Hicks is out there. You could bring him back. I kind of doubt it, though. Had 3 sacks last year as an interior guy, though, with the Chargers. I mean, as a stopgap option, you could do worse. Maybe you bring him in, draft a defensive tackle on day 2. That could be an option for Chicago.
No, it could, and he's got great size, 6'3", 309 pounds. 37 tackles is no joke for a rotational defensive lineman. And I think throughout the course of a 17-game regular season schedule, we see this with the San Francisco 49ers, and that's a big reason why they were able to turn things around after a 3-5 start last year and make it to the NFC title game, If you're able to have defensive line depth and rotate in edge rushers and defensive tackles consistently, it keeps everybody fresh throughout the entire season. And the development that's taken place with San Francisco is something that the Bears should strive for, because they've done a great job of making signings like this or drafting guys in the later rounds and developing them into very good players like a DJ Jones. Justin Jones, we'll see if he can be that type of guy.
Yeah, and look, Justin Jones, you lose Bilal Nichols, the numbers are pretty similar.
Yeah.
This could just be your Bilal Nichols replacement. Get another D-tack in here, and sure, you may not have the impact of a Larry Ogunjobi, but with the edge rushers of Robert Quinn, Trevis Gibson, who had 7 sacks last year, you might be okay still at that spot, and maybe you just allocate that money elsewhere. Another piece on offense. Maybe you go get Teron Armstead with some of that money that you lost in the Ogunjobi signing. Still some different directions you can go if you're Chicago. We'll explore a couple other defensive tackles, but first, want to mention that we are streaming this live on Rumble. All of our videos are going up over there as well, plus some occasional exclusive content from me that you can only find on our Rumble channel. So go check that out, rumble.com/Bears Now. We're not taking anything away from what we're doing on YouTube. We're just branching out and adding more content for you guys. It's a win-win. The app is free. Go download it, pull it up on your browser, rumble.com/Bears Now. Hit that follow button. Let's get more followers over there. I do wonder, Chase, if at least the thought has entered the brain of Ryan Poles of bringing back Akeem Hicks. Now, he's had injury issues of his own.
Yes.
But when he's healthy, he's still really productive. 3.5 sacks in 9 games last year, and he left 2 or 3 of those early with injuries. He still gets pretty consistent pressure as a pass rusher. Now, he's not really a 3-tech. He could be kind of that heavier defensive tackle if you want to go that route. You have Kyrus Tonga, who flashed a bit as a rookie last year as a late draft pick that Ryan Pace made a year ago. But could you bring back Hicks on a 1-year deal? Say, hey, I know you've loved your time in Chicago. I know the last regime kind of wore you out at the end, but if you really love the Bears, you love Chicago, you want to come back for 1 more year, and if you can have a healthy season, maybe you get a 2 or 3 year deal to finish out your career elsewhere. It's just a thought. I don't really anticipate it, but you got to wonder if bringing in a guy like him could be a possibility. And then Star Lotatelli, like you just mentioned as well, just got released by Buffalo. So there's still guys out there if Chicago wants to help bolster this defensive line.
Yeah, when Chicago acquired Akeem Hicks, when he was with the New England Patriots and the New Orleans Saints, he's was one of those, emerging players. And what an acquisition it was for Chicago.
Right,
from 2016
maybe
to 2018.
Ryan Pace's best deal, honestly.
Oh, for
one
sure.
Of the best.
From 2016 to 2018, he had 23 sacks. And that's really impressive considering he plays defensive tackle, and guys don't often rack up sacks at that defensive tackle spot. Those numbers were better than a player like Fletcher Cox.
Yep.
Right on par with some of the best defensive tackles in the game. The only problem is he really hasn't been elite since 2018, and now he's 32 years old. The injuries are starting to pile up. If you can get him back for, let's say, $3 to $5 million, is that something that you would explore?
Yeah,
maybe?
1 year, $5 million.
Yeah.
I would do that. Look, when he's healthy, he's productive.
He's
the problem
very good.
is he's missed 20 games in the past 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough. That's tough. So, maybe an incentive-laden contract. If he reaches certain thresholds, he can double his deal. I think something like that could at least be a possibility. That's, of course, assuming he would even be open to coming back to Chicago.
Right.
He kind of signaled that he was moving on after the season, but things change, as you guys know. Should the Bears bring back Akeem Hicks? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. You can also name a player in the comments you would like to see the Bears sign now that this Ogunjobi contract has fallen through. We are the channel for you for all things Chicago Bears, youtube.com/Bears Now. Get some shout-outs here, and appreciate everybody rocking and rolling with us here. We bring you guys everything happening throughout NFL free agency. We're not going anywhere as far as Deshaun Watson trade watch goes, so don't worry about that. We're going to catch you guys up on some 49ers news and rumors coming up here in just a moment, including the Ray McLeod signing. I'll get a couple of shout-outs on this on Bears, Chase, and then we can move on to something else.
Do your thing, brother.
Armart says yes.
Next.
King says no. Hashtag fire polls. Come on, man. That's just that.
Already, huh?
Could you handle this? This is about as good as you could handle a situation like this.
Yeah.
Look, they agreed to a contract. The guy comes in for his physical. He doesn't pass. I mean, what do you want the guy to do? It's one of those tricky deals. Corey says yes. Matthew says no. Mark says yes. Robert says yes. Bring back Hicks. hey, he loved being in Chicago. I do know, I'm pretty confident that the old coaching staff wore Hicks out late last year, but they're gone.
They're gone. It's a new regime.
It's a new regime. So
and defensive-minded head coach, too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So is this a new deal that came in? Jawan Bentley back with the Patriots. Producer Jack, he's fired up about this one. They did something, he says. I don't have a lot of thoughts on that. Contract details to be announced.
Yeah.
We'll catch you guys up on some super chats here. Then we're going to get into the latest 49ers news and rumors, including the signing of Ray McCloud. Which, quick thoughts on that, by the way?
I love the signing of Ray McCloud. We'll talk about it here in just a little while. We've seen a trend for San Francisco. Yes, they've lost some of their own players. A big reason for that, their development of those players. So they're replacing them with some good depth pieces and bringing in young players on affordable contracts who can really play. I think Ray McCloud is a part of that equation, and I like what San Francisco has done. Do we all want them to be a little bit more busy? For sure, but there are still a lot of moves left to be made, and once the Deshaun Watson domino falls, I think that leads to a Jimmy Garoppolo trade. So we'll break down this Ray McCloud signing with the San Francisco 49ers here in just a few moments. Want to give some shout-outs to those watching on the 49ers Report as we are simulcasting on 3 different channels. Bears Now, Main Chat Sports YouTube channel, and the San Francisco 49ers Report. Take the yellow pill. Shout out to you, Cam49, Patrick is also in the chat. Niners Visuals. I see Nicole and Harold Gillenwater. What's going on? Loyal subscriber. Rich Hidalgo. Thanks to all of you for tuning into the 49ers Report. We'll talk Niners here momentarily.
Let's do some rapid-fire super chats. I assume this is on our main channel. Will the Bengals sign anyone today? Well, Lyle Collins set to visit Chase. That would be a big deal for them. And I just saw another one on my feed earlier. Jaron Reed, Chiefs defensive tackle, former Seahawks, set to visit. That could be their Larry Ogunjobi replacement.
Yeah.
Or do they circle back to Ogunjobi? Maybe a one-year deal, prove you can get healthy type of deal, and then Ogunjobi hits the open market next year. That could be a possibility. So we'll see on that front. Dinesh is back. He's been with us all week long.
Dinesh.
Can I get your job? Wake up, talk football, drink beer, get paid for it, the life you live. I will say this, and this isn't to toot our own horns, but I will a little bit here. Like, don't get it wrong. Like, what you see is just seems like just raw entertainment, YOLO kind of job stuff that we
grind,
do.
Dude.
The amount of hours we put in and the amount of work before getting this job all of us at Chat Sports had to do to even be qualified for it, we didn't get here by accident, is basically what I'm saying.
And we haven't grown by accident like we have.
And don't get us wrong. We have fun.
We have fun.
Don't get me wrong. And I understand that aspect of it. But, what we're doing here, it's not a fluke. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of grinding. And that's why we're to the level we're at and why we almost have 1 million combined subscribers on all of our channels, including almost 300,000 on main. That's what we do. So, appreciate it, though. Appreciate the $5.
Yes,
Caben Rudd, what do you think we will do for 50? What is that? Strong safety. Sorry, I was reading that as
from Caben.
Good question. Eddie Jackson had some money become guaranteed today, Chase. So that signals he will be on this team this year. I think he'll be your free safety. I don't know. Do you replace the Ogunjobi contract with Tyrann Mathieu now? Give him the same deal, and you add a piece on the back end instead? You could go that route.
Yeah.
That would be intriguing to me. There's been some chatter with the Ryan Poles connection that they could bring in Mathieu.
Yeah. Look, does he fit the Bears' timeline, though? That's the thing.
He's 29.
He's 29 years old.
2-year deal?
2-year deal, short-term deal.
$26 million?
I think if he goes to Chicago, that's for the money. I don't know if he fits, and I think he hops on board a Super Bowl title contender. And I don't think the Bears are just quite at that level yet to persuade him to come to Chicago.
He could be part of the transition of this new era of Bears football.
And as a leader,
the pitch to him could be hey, we know what you bring to the table as a leadership. Hey, we're instilling this culture here.
Yeah.
You can spearhead that.
Right.
That could be intriguing, especially if they're paying good money, too.
Yeah.
Owen Spencer, appreciate the $5. All super chats get on screen, even if they don't have questions. Freeman Weeks, who can we get with the money we save from Larry? We kind of just spitballed. Do you go after and get another receiver, Juju Smith-Schuster, Julio Jones? I mean, you could go that route.
Yeah.
Julio's a bit older. I don't know if he really fits the timeline, like Chase said. Teron Armstead watch, Eric Fisher watch. I think once Deshaun Watson gets traded, some of those offensive line dominoes could fall. So stay tuned for that as well. All right, shout out your favorite team, and then we're going to go into some 49ers stuff here. I think we're caught up on Super Chat, so appreciate all of that. We've got over, let's see, almost 1,300 live on our main Chat Sports channel, about 800 live on Bears Now. I got several hundred live on 49ers Report as well. Get the chat flowing. Shout out your favorite team. In the comments, obviously, if you're watching on Bears and Niners, you can just spam Bears or 49ers. Give a few shout-outs here, and then Chase is ready to go with the latest 49ers news. For Vroken says Cowboys, Boom says Jets. We got Winter saying Dolphins, Bears. Brian on our main channel. Go to our Bears stream, youtube.com/BearsNow. Chief from the 2 Killer Queen, Cowgirls, Chiefs, Falcons. A lot of people in the live chat. Appreciate you guys for rocking and rolling.
That's fine, Jack.
With us.
Just go straight off the top.
Skull Vikings in there as well.
This was
Cowboys
designed
from
for one
Roger.
man.
So here we go. We're going to break down everything going on.
I can host this piece, and
just I'll bounce off whatever you want to do. So
both
we're going to break
chefs will
down
be in the kitchen cooking.
Yeah, the cooking, the kitchen, the grill. It's about 500 degrees.
You already know. Welcome into the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. He is Harrison Graham, simulcasting on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel as well, getting you caught up with everything that San Francisco has done so far in NFL free agency, including a deal that happened late last night. 49ers have signed punt returner, kick returner, gadget guy, wide receiver Ray McCloud, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers, to a 2-year deal. We'll break that down here in just a few moments. But first, I want all of the Niner fans to get into the comment section right now and grade the signing for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Harrison, your quick takeaways about San Francisco signing Ray McCloud. I think he could really help in this offense and boost the special teams unit, which last year was 26th in the NFL.
This feels like a Shanahan, like, oh, I could maximize this guy, right? He's electric in space, jet sweeps, return guy, drag routes. I'm excited to see what Kyle Shanahan can do with this guy in this offense. I like this move by San Francisco quite a bit. And by the way, I think it's 2 years, $10 million. Have we gotten those details?
It's about 2 years, $10 million. Yeah, we'll break that down here in just a sec.
It's a 2-year deal for Ray McCloud. But those are my initial takeaways. I think he's a guy that Kyle Shanahan feels like he can max out, and I'm excited to see what his role is in this offense.
Yeah, so you take a look at Ray McCloud, played with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and really emerged the last couple of years as a very good punt returner and kick returner. He's actually the leading punt returner in the NFL from a year ago. You take a look at his return numbers for Pittsburgh. He was fantastic last year. These numbers from 2021, 38 punt returns, average yards per punt return, Harrison, just shy of 10, first in the National Football League, 35 kick returns, average yards per kick return of north of 22, which is a really good number. League average about 18 to 20, but that's not all that he can do. He can also thrive and flourish as a wide receiver, and he goes from a stagnant, really methodical offense with the Pittsburgh Steelers, with the quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger, who was washed last year, to an offensive mastermind, an offensive genius in Kyle Shanahan, one of the best young coaches in the NFL. And I think Ray McCloud sees his potential in this offense as being astronomical. Now, you take a look at the receiving numbers last year. They were lower, but I expect them to maybe increase this year, and he can do more for San Francisco than just return punts and kicks. 66 targets, 39 receptions, 277 yards, average yards per catch of 7.1. But I'm really intrigued by this Ray McCloud signing for San Francisco for a couple of reasons. I'm intrigued by Ray McCloud because I think he adds a really good element for one of the worst special teams units last year in the NFL, as San Francisco was sitting around 26. He can certainly add a spark there. But in Kyle Shanahan's offense, I think that he sees that he can be a great fit and be more of a contributor than he's been in years past with the Pittsburgh Steelers because of Kyle Shanahan's creativity with calling plays to put the ball in the hands of Ray McCloud on bubble screens, on jet sweeps, on crossing routes. So for that reason, I think this is a potential high upgrade signing for San Francisco on special teams. Then he can add a spark on the offensive side of the football as well and be that gadget guy in this offense that San Francisco hasn't really had. And if you want to send him down the seam as a slot wide receiver, you can do that. If you want to put him out wide, he can really stretch the field vertically. I think on a 2-year, $10 million deal for San Francisco, this could end up being a steal. That's why I'm intrigued by the idea. Now, are you a fan of the Ray McCloud signing for the 49ers? If so, hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Show up, show out, and let us know if you get down with Ray. And also, while you're down there, make sure you subscribe to the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jay Sr. Been pushing out multiple videos per day all throughout NFL free agency, and this is what we do because we give you free daily news and rumors videos 7 days a week, red and gold till we're dead and cold.
Can I get one more thought on this McCloud
Go
signing?
ahead.
All
Marinate,
week long, you had been saying, man, I'd like to get a guy like Jakeem Grant in here. This is kind of that, right?
Yep.
Like elite return specialist, a guy who probably 2 to 3 games this year, he'll make a game-changing play on offense.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to be a guy that every game has an impact offensively, but there will be a couple times this upcoming year where you're like, man, dude, that play Ray McCloud, that changed the game. Like, he's that type of guy because he's that explosive, and that's really what you're looking for with this type of player. Like, this isn't going to be a guy that catches 80 passes by any means, but can he impact 2, 3, 4 games, be a good return specialist for you? That's kind of what you're bringing on board in Ray McCloud.
With what the Niners have done up until this point in NFL free agency, they've been somewhat silent, and they've made medium-level splash signings, but I actually like what they've done. Look, this is a team that made it into the Final Four last year. They were a couple plays away from making it to their second Super Bowl in 3 years. It's not like they're undergoing a roster rebuild and they have to completely overhaul this roster.
No.
Yes, they've let some players go, but that speaks to the development that the 49ers coaching staff has been able to bring the best out of these players, and they set themselves up nicely where they thrive and play really well for San Francisco. Then they get paid elsewhere. They really play themselves out of affordability for San Francisco. But why do I like what the Niners have done so far? Young signings, and I think all of these players are emerging and can become very good players. Charvarius Ward is only 25 years old. Hassan Ridgeway, as a rotational defensive tackle, as your DJ Jones replacement, is 27 years old. Ray McCloud, I think his best football is ahead of him at age 25, and then Oren Burks at age 26. So not only from an age perspective are the Niners bringing in young players and not old, injury-prone wash players, they're also putting a focus on special teams, which last year was one of the worst in the NFL in coverage and in terms of returns. So the 49ers really prioritizing all of those aspects throughout this NFL offseason period, and I think that the Niners have some moves to be made in the future as well. These are young, affordable players with upside. The Niners have been fiscally smart with a lot of these contracts, and for that reason, I like what they've done, and I still think that once the Jimmy Garoppolo trade happens, that sets the foundation for everything else to ensue during the offseason for the Niners. Now, the NCAA tournament is in full swing. We here at Chat Sports have been watching these games, wall grinding, talking about the latest NFL news and rumors. And if you want to lay down some bets for the NCAA tournament, you can do so. A couple of brackets already busted, like how about Kentucky going down to St. Peter's last night? Chatsports.com/49bet. Enter the promo code Niners125 for a 125% deposit bonus.
Now, Doug Key had added this as well. This is pretty interesting, Chase. The Bears, 49ers, Colts, Texans, Patriots, and Raiders are among the teams who have reached out on available outside receivers. Obviously, the Raiders got Davante Adams, so they're probably out on this. But have yet to make a splash. Eagles are expected to be involved. So if you're San Francisco, who fills that void if you're thinking about outside receivers that could be out there?
Well, the only receivers currently signed for next year for San Francisco, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. Now Ray McCloud enters the mix. Now, there have been a lot of rumblings over the last couple of weeks about the Niners' reported interest in Juju Smith-Schuster. He could play slot receiver in this offense. Ray McCloud comes in from time to time as that aforementioned gadget guy. So Juju Smith-Schuster is a name to watch for the Niners. So too is Will Fuller, but I think he's way too injury prone. Do I like his game as a guy who can get up and down the field with some elite speed and take the top off of the defense? For sure. Jarvis Landry, another one of those Juju Smith slot receiver prototypes who got released by Cleveland. I think you can keep your eyes on him as well. He was working out with Deebo Samuel this week. Emmanuel Sanders, a former Niner who really played well for the Niners during that 2019 Super Bowl run, is on the open market. So too is Jamison Crowder. Now, if the Niners do make a signing, we have you covered right here on the 49ers Report by Chat Sports as we continue to grow and really just cater to our audience, which is the faithful and pushing out free daily videos covering all things with the Niners all year round. YouTube.com/49erstv or hit that big subscribe button down below. And before we hop on out of here for this segment, we talk about Juju, we talk about Jarvis Landry, maybe a reunion with Emmanuel Sanders. Which free agent wide receiver do you want the 49ers to sign? Because I think there is a move left there. Let us know in the comment section right now. All right, give some shout-outs to those watching on the 49ers Report really quickly. New Money Beats, Christ Soldier, Nathan Bolden, Rich Hidalgo, Emmanuel Sanders, too old, like a used girlfriend from Christ. That's funny. Let's see, Superior Hands, also in the chat. Why don't you give some shout-outs to those watching on Chicago Bears Now, Harrison?
Yo, we just don't have a login? We're just cooked? Oh, thank God. Can't be doing PJ again.
No.
Bears fans, you can shout out a receiver too because you would like to have a receiver as well. Someone says, I don't know what you guys are saying. Guys are wondering, well, here's the deal. We're simulcasting on multiple channels, guys, so it can't be Bears content 100% of the time. Just like Niners fans, it can't be Niners 100% of the time. We want to allocate resources, go live on multiple channels
these
here.
moves impact these teams.
Yeah, and these moves all impact
talking football,
all these teams. Talking some ball. If you don't want to enjoy free agency, then I don't know what to tell you on that front. Randall says Armstead is someone he wants to sign. DK Metcalf for the Bears. That would be incredible.
Wow.
If the Bears traded for
him.
He fits.
What do you think it would cost?
He fits perfectly for Justin Fields as a deep threat.
I agree. Do you think like the Eagles could trade away 15 for him?
That's probably about the value.
One first-round pick, or are we talking more?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, coming off a down year.
He's only got 1 year left on his rookie deal. That you have to factor that in as well.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to pay him if you trade for him. Like if you're the Bears, 39 and 48, would you trade both of those for DK?
I would.
I probably would, man.
Because you know what it does? Gives your young quarterback a really legitimate weapon, a building
Metcalf,
block for your
Mooney,
offense.
and Pringle as a Tringle is pretty damn solid,
especially
dude.
the combination of size and skill.
They're all fast. Yeah. Man. Now, obviously, you'd have to handle O-line, but maybe in that case you sign Armstead or Eric Fisher, use your third-round pick on an offensive lineman. You know, it's I wouldn't love trading both my second-round picks since I don't have a first if I'm Chicago, but that would be intriguing. We're also live on Rumble. Appreciate everybody tuning in, both on YouTube and on Rumble. We partnered with Rumble about a month ago, and they're a video content creator just like YouTube. Sports, politics, news, business, tech. You can find a ton of stuff over there, including our content here at Chat Sports. Rumble.com/NFL Daily is where you can catch up on our latest NFL news and rumors, plus some occasional Rumble After Hours content, bonus content for you Chat Sports fans. Go check us out. Give us a follow. We're closing in on 1,000 followers on Rumble. MGM Productions with a $2 super chat. Plan at safety for the Niners. Tart not returning. Chase?
Yeah, I wouldn't rule out a Jaquiski Tart return to the Bay. I thought he played the best football of his career last year. That back-breaking interception in the NFC Championship game, look, I know that was a heartbreaker, and he should have made the play. And if he makes the play, do the Niners end up winning that game? Potentially, because the momentum flips there, and you get the ball back in really good field position at the end of that game. But there were other things that happened in that game that led to the Niners losing. I think Tart coming back for affordable price, I think that'd be a good move for the Niners. You bring somebody back who has familiarity in the defense, coming off the best year of his career, and he's not going to get big money like a Tyrann Mathieu, like a Justin Reed, like a Marcus Williams. And because of that, I think you've seen his market get impacted a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. Bears also could use a safety. Jaquiski Tart to the Bears. People were talking.
Hey.
I would not completely hate that. Producer Jack's got some stuff going on, so we can we'll keep it moving here in just a second. What are you guys saying here? Let's see. Yada, yada, yada. OBJ to the Steelers. Yeah, we hit that one already, Jack. Let's go to the next one. What are the Colts going to do? Chase, what are the Colts going to do?
They need to get a quarterback. How about the Colts hit up the 49ers and they're like, hey, we'll give you a second-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's ride. We have a roster that can compete right now. Trade for Jimmy G. Again, it's the Deshaun Watson thing has to happen for the rest of the quarterback market to play out. He goes to Atlanta. the Falcons are going to trade Matt Ryan. Which team is going to be interested in Matt Ryan? How does that impact the Jimmy Garoppolo market? All of these things have to fall in line
Baker
first.
Mayfield, where does he end up?
Deshaun, make your decision.
Yes, please.
Please.
It impacts all of these teams.
Yes.
Ethan with the super chat. Let's push this next one across here. Ethan, please ban super hand.
Order no longer available, by the way.
I don't know what this means. Yeah, it disappeared on us. Daryl Anderson, $5. Raiders just win, baby. What about OT help for the Raiders? And who is the best option in Gilmore to the Raiders? Obviously, if they get Gilmore Chase, that's a game changer.
It'd be a huge game changer. Stephon Gilmore can still play. A little bit older. I think on a short-term deal, let's say 3 years, worth around $10 million per, that would be about my threshold for what I'd want to offer him. Do I think he gets more? Yeah, I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hello, Moto. Chase, the Niners should get Jimmy Graham. No, they should not. You know about that,
He's washed.
Yeah, he's washed.
He should retire. But, hey, some team might get him a one-year deal. You never know. Let's go to Josh Roberts here. This one from Bears Now. And I'm seeing some stuff like, hey, I'm going to unsubscribe if it's not Bears-centric. Guys, this is a bonus live I'm doing for you guys. Do what you want, but Chase and I are grinding up here. We have other duties beyond just the teams we cover, believe it or not. We're grinding for the Bears. He's grinding for the 49ers.
Yep.
Believe me, we're talking about the Bears, the Niners, and all this stuff we're talking about impacts those two teams. So, hang with us here. All the talk about Armstead recently, isn't he the OL version of Hicks? Can be great when on the field, but not getting any younger. Bear down. First of all, get the bear downs flowing in the comments on Bears Now. Look, yeah, he has an injury history. We've outlined that. Over the last 8 years, he averages 11 games played per season. He misses games. It's a risk. There's no doubt. He's really good when he's elite. I would argue he's all pro level, but he misses time. So that's the risk, Josh. There's no doubt. AF Baltimore, who do the Falcons sign to build around Watson? I think if they get Watson, Jarvis Landry signs immediately.
Yeah. I think that's for Jarvis, and he's been working out with Deebo Samuel this week, by the way. Not saying that the Niners are going to sign him now, but that's of note. Jarvis Landry, he had a disastrous experience this past year with Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. We saw what happened with OBJ when he left Cleveland. He played so well for the Rams. Jarvis is probably hoping that same scenario can help really lift him out of this slump that he was in this past year. He suffered that injury, which I think impacted his game a little bit. But Deshaun goes to Atlanta. I think you'll see not just Jarvis Landry go there as well. I think more players will go there because they're like, yo, you just acquired one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Speaking of which, who will trade for Deshaun Watson? If you think it's going to be the Saints, let us know. If you think it's going to be the Falcons, let us know. We're going to get you caught up on the latest around Deshaun Watson. And by the way, this impacts the Bears and 49ers directly. The Bears, how does it impact them? Well, Teron Armstead, if Watson chooses Atlanta, becomes really pretty much available at that point. I don't think he'll re-sign with the Saints if Watson doesn't go to New Orleans. I think he's a guy the Bears would have interest in, so that's direct impact. And just beyond that, Chase, it impacts the NFC where he goes.
Massively.
So there's no doubt about that. So continue to get your votes in. We're going to get you guys caught up on the latest around Watson as the New Orleans Saints are certainly making a strong pursuit. So stay tuned for that here live as we simulcast on Chat Sports, the 49ers Report, and on Chicago Bears Now. Who Dat Nation, for Saints fans watching today, go subscribe as we cover this Deshaun Watson trade tracker, if you will, throughout NFL free agency. I know there's Saints fans watching right now. YouTube.com/Saints today. Turn on that notification bell. We will have you guys covered here at Chat Sports, regardless of what happens with Deshaun Watson. He's Chase Sr., I'm Harrison Graham. The New Orleans Saints continue to wait to see what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson, and they'd like to know sooner or later, Chase. And so would we, because this impacts a lot of teams in the NFL. We'll get you caught up on the latest and what it's looking like for New Orleans. Here's coming in from Dov here. Texans reporter John McClain said it would be shocking if Watson doesn't pick the Falcons over the Saints. So Saints might be second in the pecking order now, Chase.
How about Atlanta swooping in, no pun intended, at the last minute and having that relationship between Deshaun Watson and Arthur Blank possibly being really the deciding factor in Deshaun Watson going to Atlanta to beat out the rival New Orleans Saints? This quarterback drama, this quarterback movement this offseason, and all of the Deshaun Watson buzz has been crazy. It looked as though the Panthers were the leaders in the clubhouse. The Browns entered the fold. The New Orleans Saints at one point seemed to be the favorites. And now it's the Atlanta Falcons. If I'm Deshaun Watson, Harrison, I'm not going to Atlanta, even if I have that relationship with Arthur Blank. I'm going to New Orleans, where that roster is loaded and littered with some great offensive talent. Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Marquez Callaway, Mark Ingram, a good offensive line. We'll see what happens with Armstead. That defense is spectacular, even with the loss of Marcus Williams. Maybe it's Dennis Allen being a defensive-minded head coach as the big reason why Deshaun isn't going to New Orleans, but I think that's the best fit for him. We'll see what happens.
Here's more from Aaron Wilson. Deshaun Watson currently expected to take the next few days, this is from last night, and contemplate his decision over the weekend per league sources. I wish he'd decide today over which team he'll waive his no-trade clause for. Falcons have pushed back Matt Ryan's $7.5 million roster bonus from Friday to Tuesday. So from an Atlanta side of things, Chase, they're buying themselves time. And look, it clearly seems that Matt Ryan is okay with this. And if they don't get him, then he'll remain in Atlanta. That's very mature of him. He does not have to go that route, as Schefter added that note as well. What it also allows him to do is if he wants to pursue a trade, it buys him a few more days to do that before that bonus kicks in. So we'll see what happens on Atlanta's side of things as well. Now, the Saints, I think, Chase, early on were considered the favorites. They were, rumored to be making a, quote, full-court press. They met with him twice. They've been pursuing him for a long time, according to reports. And now it seems to have maybe shifted into Atlanta's favor. We do know it's down to these two NFC South teams. And
this is going to add to the rivalry between the Atlanta Falcons and the Saints, right? I mean, interdivision squads now battling it out for one of the best and most gifted quarterbacks in the National Football League. And as it pertains to Deshaun Watson, this domino has to fall for New Orleans, because if they don't land Deshaun Watson, what is their plan B? What is their next step? They've been pretty quiet in NFL free agency up to this point. They lost Marcus Williams. They've made some signings on the peripheries of their roster and some minor moves, but they have to figure out what happens with Deshaun Watson to really set the foundation for what else they're going to do in free agency. Now, I don't think they have to be incredibly busy because, as I talked about earlier, a lot of really intriguing pieces on this team, but the dominoes will certainly start to fall for New Orleans after the Deshaun Watson trade goes down. So if you're a Saints fan watching, first of all, subscribe by using that link down below. But if you're frustrated with the silency for New Orleans up to this point, just know it's going to start to get active, not just for New Orleans, not just for the Atlanta Falcons, but all 32 teams in the National Football League following the Deshaun Watson trade going down.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. So, assuming these are the two teams, where will he go? I think it's going to be Atlanta.
I know
Saints fans don't want to hear that, but I think he's enamored with the idea of playing for the franchise where he was a ball boy as a kid. I mean, that's a personal connection to that franchise. Type ATL for the Falcons, type NO for the New Orleans Saints. We'll find out sometime in the next 24, 48, 72 hours, and we'll have you guys covered regardless of what that ends up being. Now, there is more to consider here. Sounds like Watson would like to adjust his contract, and quite frankly, with both these teams, Chase, and where they are, they've certainly been making moves to clear cap. He probably would have to just get a signing bonus and push back some of that money on the cap hit down the road, because with Atlanta's dead cap money they're going to have for Matt Ryan, they're just going to have to clear out some money, and just restructuring Deshaun would make sense. The Saints have obviously been manipulating the cap for years, so they can figure that out. So that would also come into play in here as well. And we know the Saints are cap gurus.
Yeah, Saints are just cap gurus. I mean, they have proven that the NFL salary cap ain't a thing, and they've proven that you can manipulate it and pull off salary cap gymnastics in order to build out a roster with some really good pieces and be financially smart in doing so. As far as Deshaun Watson's contract right now, $35 million in base salary for 2022 with the cap hit of $40 million. In 2023, the base salary lowers, but the cap hit goes up to $42 million. There is a potential out, 2024, which if this doesn't work out, you can get out of the contract for Watson's sake or the team that signs him. If there is no opt-out, 2024, $32 million, same number in 2025. He becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2026 at the ripe age of 31, Harrison.
Yeah.
He could cash in yet again after just cashing in just previously on that 4-year, $156 million deal.
Yeah, and that's why when you look at a lot of the contracts in the league, going 3-4 years is the way to go. Like, that's why everybody who always tells me this Mahomes contract is ridiculous, it's too much. It's a bargain for the Chiefs because they've got him under contract for 10, 12 years, whereas if he went 3-4 years at a time, he'd probably make 1.5x with how much the cap is going up each and every year. So you have to factor in the money with Deshaun Watson in as well. But I do think whatever decision he makes, I think he views this as this is where I want to finish my career. I want to play here for 10 to 12 years. Win a couple Super Bowls for either New Orleans or Atlanta. Now we're just waiting to see which team that is. For you Saints fans, if you want Deshaun Watson to come to New Orleans, subscribe to the channel. Producer Trace, our resident Saints fan here at Chat Sports, he's been working hard to help us get some content out to you guys on our Saints channel. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more New Orleans Saints news and rumors. He'll have you covered. The rest of the staff will get you up to date as well. Final thoughts here, Chase, as we're day 4, day 5 with Deshaun Watson watch. Once, the criminal stuff got cleared last week, where are we at here? I'm leaning Atlanta. I don't think it's done, because if it was done, we would know by now. 70-30? 60-40? Is it 50-50 still? What are you thinking between New Orleans and Atlanta?
Yeah, I think the lean here is Atlanta. I really do. I think he's going to go to the Atlanta Falcons, and the Saints are going to have to go up against him twice a year. I think that's how it shakes out. I think the late movement for Atlanta really is telling.
We'll see what happens, but Trace wants you guys to type Who Dat Nation if you made it to this point in the video. Do it in the comments, and hey, if you do it enough, maybe Deshaun Watson will choose the New Orleans Saints. For everybody watching on our Chat Sports YouTube channel and Bears Now and 49ers Report, did you read that, by the way? Jack, give that a glance, Chase. I'm indifferent on what you want to do on Niners. Type NO for the Saints, type ATL for the Falcons, and let us know where you guys think Deshaun Watson is going to end up. And we'll get some shout-outs here. Let the chat catch up here. A lot of ATL in, a few New Orleans, a couple Carolinas. Carolina's been eliminated, guys, for those who don't know. Let's see. Who dat? We got Darnell Mooney is the GOAT. We'll do that top free agents, and that'll go on there as well, but that doesn't need to be live. Yeah. This is just for getting Bears off. Slam says, or Matthew says New Orleans.
I'll
Aaron
take the views.
says ATL. Randall says Armstead. Some team will sign Ogunjobi for like just $4 million. Maybe we'll have to wait and see. Let's circle back real quick to the Bears news from earlier today, just real quick. Shout out to all of the Bears fans hanging out with us. I'll hit this news one more time, and then we're going to sign off on Bears Now. I put out that video breaking down the Larry Ogunjobi signing in further detail, so you guys can check that out. We'll have another video probably later today as well. Contract falls through, Chase. 3 years, $40.5 million. Failed the physical. Unfortunate, but I think maturely handled by the Bears.
I think so, too. And for Ryan Pace to want to make a splash, he makes that splash, but to still go back on, his original word of trying to build for the future for Chicago, he ends up backing out of the deal, which I think is a smart thing to do. If the medicals don't check out, if he's not in shape, if there's something wrong with the foot and you pay him a lot of money and you end up signing him and giving him all that money, but he can't produce, that's very problematic for what this team wants to do and how they want to build. Now, they absorbed that blow by signing Justin Jones as an interior defensive lineman. Star Lotulelei is also out there. He was released by the Buffalo Bills. Harrison, let me throw this out there. Fletcher Cox?
Ooh, it's another name.
Could Fletcher Cox go to the Bears?
Sounds like the Eagles would like to bring him back, but we'll see.
And he would like to go back to Philadelphia.
Justin Jones is where the pivot has gone to for now. I don't necessarily view that as we're done at defensive tackle, though, so we'll see what happens on that front. So that's kind of where we're at. Larry Ogunjobi contract falls through. Justin Jones on board. We'll see where the Bears go next. This is a super chat that's coming on Bears Now. We'll hit that. All the talk about Armstead recently. Isn't he the O-line version? Oh, yeah, we hit this one. Injuries, but certainly can still play when he's healthy at a high level. Why aren't the Chiefs making more moves? Look, they're being patient. They're being quiet. We'll see what Kansas City ends up doing. So here's what we're going to do. Bears fans, appreciate you rocking and rolling with us today. Like I said, we'll have a video later today. I'm going to sign off here on Bears Now. I know it's some tough news today about Larry Ogunjobi. Good news, bad news. We're going to break it all down. Hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for a video later with the latest free agency buzz around this team. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you want to stay or hang out with our NFL free agency coverage, we're still going to be live on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel, so you can swing on over there as well. But for now, we're going to sign off on our Bears Now live stream. So we'll go ahead and do that. And also, give us a follow on Rumble. It's rumble.com/BearsNow. Link is down below. We'll still be live on Rumble, by the way. So if you want to go support Bears Now on Rumble, rumble.com/BearsNow. We'll stay live over there. Got to sign off here on YouTube. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us here on Bears Now Live.